Hello and welcome back to another invasion video. Did y'all enjoy that first clip? I was having a lot of fun hitting the gravitas into R2 combo on the butchering knife. It certainly does a lot of damage when it hits, but there is a little timing to it. It's also pretty fun, so there's that's kind of important too. I'm going to be showing and talking about examples of different Ashes of War, incantations, and sorceries that have very large areas of effect, and how you can make use of those in invasions. These can be used to blind hosts and phantoms temporarily. They can distract them and open up options for you in invasions to win, and look really cool doing it too, so that's always important. Although sometimes you don't need that, all you need is carry and slicer spam. And really all you need in this game is carry and slicer spam with the build around it in the first place, and nothing will really ever be able to take you out. It is extremely strong. Unless you spam it without thought into someone who's got a tiny fairy shield, then you might be in for a world of hurt, but I digress. This is fun. I've got two builds here prepared today. The first one is the Collector. If any of you are Darkest Dungeon fans, it's a loose adaptation of the Collector with some fun little things that I thought that kind of played into his theme a little bit. But really it's just going for the fashion, and the build came together, and then the fashion looked like the Collector from Darkest Dungeon, combined with the fact that I'm playing Darkest Dungeon right now, and it all just kind of seemed to add up into a kind of a good cosplay. That, and I have another character later on which I will reveal that also was kind of fun that I used for this set of invasion videos. So we'll get to that later. Will I keep either of these two characters? Probably not. I like aspects of them, but they were just kind of fun to make in the moment for these. And I enjoyed the theme. Again, I've been playing a lot of Darkest Dungeon, and so I made a couple of characters that were kind of inspired by that. And I will keep aspects of them. Like I will keep this, I keep forgetting what it's called. I think it's the Butcher Knife, or at least I want to call it the Butcher Knife. Gravitas into R2 combo. It's really, really fun. I did not experiment with in this video, but you can also do a the stone, the gravity stone, the little item you use to throw on the ground. You can stun opponents with that and do that will true combo into a running, jumping R2 with this weapon. I've been killed by that before. It is really, really dope. So you keep that in mind. You can do that too. How many blues do these people have? I feel like there's been an increased population of blues recently. Either there's someone putting out Blue Covenant videos about how cool being blue is, or they're forcing people through indentured servitude to become blues before they can get their their in-game weapons, their Nagakibas, their all their what's the wave of gold sword, the Radigan's body sword, whatever it's called. Maybe they have to do some time in the blue work camp before they can blue work camps. God, that's dark. Blue work camps before they can actually get a hold of those. Anyway, I digress. There's just a lot of blues recently, and I can't stop running into them. They seem to spawn right after each other, so one after another constantly. Anyway, it was good for this invasion. This is one of the earlier invasions that I did, and it really allowed me to test a lot of the things that I wanted to use in this build, including the Radigan's Rings of Light that you're seeing, and the Triple Rings of Light. Now obviously these are not really in theme of the Collector, but I really wanted to use them, so I put them on this build to try them out. And they play into some of those large effects and incantations that I've been talking about. Later I'm going to be using Tibia Summons, which is in the theme of the Collector. If you ever fought him in the Darkest Dungeon, or in Darkest Dungeon, you will know he has an attack that summons 3 little skeleton vertebrae called Collect Call. And these are copies of your party that will attack you. It's not really incredibly useful in Elden Ring, but it can occasionally flash punish, and it's pretty funny to cast it. So there's that. So we come into an invasion with a Grace host at Liurnia the Lakes. I'm casting Ancient Death Rancor, Triple Rings of Light, Radiant's Rings of Light. What is all that doing for me? Well, besides taking up a huge portion of the host screen, he's having to dodge all that large area of effect. Keep in mind that those rings come back. Dodge the Ancient Death Rancor, and try not to dodge into the Triple Rings of Light too far because he can get hit by my Radiant's Rings of Light. I'm not idle while this is happening. I'm aggressing him. I'm casting more spells, throwing more rings, creating more and more situations he has to keep track of to stay alive and not take damage. What I'm doing is trying to increase the odds that he's going to make a mistake, which I can take advantage of to win the invasion. I need to be careful while I'm doing this, because I'm consuming a lot of FP, but my whole goal is to try to chip away at his resources, make him use up all his flasks faster than I use up all of my resources. Fundamentally, at the heart of it, all invasions are just resource wars, and you start with less, so you have to be smarter, and you need to play better and use whatever tricks you can to win an invasion, especially someone like this, who is probably Rune Arced up, has more flasks than you, and is just waiting for invaders in the area. One trick you can use in your Wondrous Physic is the Cerulean Hidden Tier, and whatever damage tier of an elemental type combined with it to do more damage. So this is going to eliminate all your FP consumption completely for a limited time, and it will increase the damage that you do. Again, this can be used in the middle of an invasion to burst him down, to burst hosts or phantoms down, or the end of an invasion when you have less resources or almost out of resources, and you want to attempt one more time to beat the host and phantom. Again, these sorceries, these incantations, whatever they are, they can be used to put your opponents where you want them to be on the field, advantageously, to either get combos off on them, get them off your back, or set them up for what you want to do next. Look what's going on the field here after I cast Spear Call Ritual. There's a lot of effects going on. The host can't necessarily see what's going to happen next. If I had had one more opportunity to cast one more spell or incantation, I could have finished him, and he may not have even seen it coming. It didn't turn out that way, but it could have turned out that way. You need to always be looking for opportunities in invasions to make these things work for you. What are some examples of other things that might work? Triple Rings of Light into Gravitas. After they roll through the initial rings, you can use Gravitas to potentially stun them if they're close enough to catch them in the return rings. Or Triple Rings of Light into Flame of the Redmane. After they again roll through those rings, Flame of the Redmane could potentially be used to stun them enough for the rings to come back and hit them again. You have to time these, but they can work. Another one that is a little bit time sensitive, if you can lay it out the right way, though it'll work, is casting Magic Glint Blade, and then casting Collapsing Stars, which will pull them in, and the Magic Glint Blade will hit them then after that. My personal favorite, and one I use on one of my builds, is Wrath of Gold into Ancient Dragon Lightning Spear. It works better indoors because you can keep them close after you cast Wrath of Gold and knock them back. But it can work anywhere. I've made it work in several different situations. It does a lot of damage. It's very, very fun, and it looks really cool to do. Again, that same Wrath of Gold into the Crucible Breath incantations is a wake-up. That can do a lot of damage. All these in combinations do very high damage. They can be used to pick off phantoms, or even the hosts themselves to finish off the invasion. Alright, I'm not really talking a lot during this invasion, just to kind of let everyone see what's going on. There's the Alien Toenails, Red Lightning, Ashes of War Spam. It's all the makings of a very good chaotic invasion. You'll see I was experimenting a little bit with the Death Mist and Eclipse Shuttle, trying to proc that death animation. It's not very easy to do, but I think that's fine. It feels like an appropriate reward once I can get it to go off. If only Sleep and Badness felt that balanced, then I think we'd be in a good place. Now only the host is left, so I go down to try to fight him. He's down here somewhere, although I see all of a sudden him seem to fall off. I don't know if he just decided to give up or if something knocked him off. Either way, that was the invasion. Kind of an unsatisfying end to what was a bit of a fun invasion to start with, but you know, that happens sometimes. All right, Rendan, give us another example of those big, large effects and flashing lights you're talking about. All right, I give you the Star-Blooded Knight. I give you the Bastard Stars. I've never used this weapon before. I had to stretch this build a lot to use it, so it is not optimal at all, but it is fun. This character is another lore character that I made from the Darkest Dungeon. I think this the Color of Madness is the DLC. Basically, he is a knight that has been damaged, or I guess mentally damaged, so to speak, by the crystals, the glintstone in Elden Ring. He's become refracted. He is star-blooded. The stars and the glintstone have infected his bloodstream, and his will is not now his own. He is not all there. He uses the Collapsing Stars, Gavel of Haima, Carrion Slicer, you know, the basics. Collapsing Star to bring him into the Bastard Stars Nebula hitbox. This character is fun. He's more effective indoors and closed spaces to really utilize all that, the large area effect on those spells, and especially the large area effect on the Nebula. But he can work outdoors too. He's fun. Look at the swing on that Ash of War. It just covers an incredible distance. It's so good. The Lingering Nebula too. It's great. I've liked it. It's a flail, so obviously the flail moveset's not great, but the Ash of War more than makes up for it. Again, running Collapsing Stars in this build. The Glintstone Phalanx, Gavel of Haima, Carrion Slicer, just, you know, a lot of the basic sorceries. The Glint Blade Phalanx is just to get people to be wary of me, have them think about something else. I've got, you know, Ice Spear on the Partisan. I've got the Frozen Needle. I have the Banished Night Sword with Glintstone Pebble. Just a long sword with Sphinx Lash on it. All these are magic infused. So again, it's fun. I've got some tools that I can use. They're all really fun. I like to use the Collapsing Stars into the Nebula. I like to use Collapsing Stars, and then when it catches them, try to hit them with the Glintstone Pebble on the Banished Night Sword. That's kind of fun. It's a bit of a crapshoot, but it's that's kind of that's entertaining. So it's good. Yeah, it's a fun build. It has some tools to it. It is a good time to use it. Alright, now the 2v1 that started off against me at the beginning is now a 2v1 versus the host. This host has been a pretty good sport the entire time. I think my fellow Red is not really... he's not given him the due respect he probably should deserve. This guy's not a terrible player. He's actually... seems like he knows what he's doing. He's taking some damage. Yeah, he's on the back foot. Because he's just him. It's just him. But, you know, I can kind of tell the entire time he's trying to lure both of us to hit each other, since we can hit each other. So I'm keeping an eye on that and trying to only go in and attack when my fellow Red is not attacking at the same time, which is a good reminder, a good PSA to bring up again. If you are new to Invasions, or even if you have been playing Invasions for a while, it is handy to remember that you can hit your fellow Reds. Reds are friends, but you can still hit them. And a lot of hosts that have played this game for a while, Phantoms that have played this game for a while, know that. They can't hit each other. Reds can hit each other. They will use that and try to lure you into hitting your other Red, or getting your other red to hit you. And if you're not paying attention, not being careful, you can use up a lot of resources that way. Healing resources, you know, if you're casting spells, you know, FP resources. You know, don't do it. Don't do it. Play smart about it. Did you see that? I didn't get off the whole nebula because he knocked me out of it, but I got off enough of it that a little bit of the nebula cloud spawned, and just enough of it to hit him and actually do damage on him. That's pretty cool. That's something you can do with that. It doesn't have to completely go off to get some of that lingering nebula effect. Alright, what are some other useful area of effect spells you can use in this game? Night Maiden's Mist creates a godforsaken hell mist that will hurt you and anyone around you, but it can be used very effectively to lock off areas, get people off your back, do lingering overtime damage to people, hosts, and phantoms that are hiding in a room. You can use Ancient Death Rancor. It is madly annoying, but it can be, the skulls follow people forever, so while they're panic rolling madly, you can cast other sorceries at them to roll catch them and do damage while they're trying to flee it. Incantations, we showed earlier Triple Rings of Light, Radigan's Rings of Light, Burn of Flame, Flame of the Fell God. You can cast that in the air, and if people don't pay attention to it, that hell ball will descend on them and kill them. What else? Some of the ancient Dragon Lightning Strikes can be useful. Death's Lightning. I would not recommend using any of the dragon spells, the dragon breath incantations, but that's just because I think that they're god-awful, forsaken things that should not have the hitboxes or the tracking that they do. But I suppose if you want to use those, you certainly could as well. Alright, I hope that you have enjoyed the video. I'm trying to strike a good balance between entertaining gameplay and also talking about some of the themes that I'm utilizing in each of the builds that I'm making. I guess my goal for what this is now being maybe referred to as a series is to help out maybe some newer invaders that are learning about this stuff for the first time, don't really have all this knowledge at hand that maybe some experienced players already have. So I hope that that's useful in that way and you can get something out of it. Maybe some experienced players can get some things out of it as well, just from things they haven't tried before. But a lot of these are pretty basic tips, right? They're just little things you can keep in mind to maybe improve your chances in invasions and just, you know, improve your gameplay a little bit. None of that is going to replace just getting in there and trying invasions. You have got to put yourself in... you got to engage that finger. You got to put yourself in these fights, even if you're nervous about it, even if you're hesitant. If you want or have any desire to get into invasions and PvP in this game at all, you have to take the leap and you have to jump into it and just try them. Just try them. I promise you they are fun. I know that it's intimidating to think about having to fight 3 people, and you know there's teabagging and there's salt, and you know people are mean, but It's worth it. It is so much fun, and I promise you, there is a great, great community, uh, of invaders, not only on YouTube or Twitch, but just everywhere. Reddit, you can find them. Discord servers that are willing to help you out, willing to show you the ropes, teach you some things. You can get all sorts of resources to improve and get better. We are not all salty tryhards, despite the impression it seems to be in some of the ganking and normal community. We are actually people that are just trying to have fun in this game, and we are a natural part of this game. Like, the PvE is. This is something that was included in the game. And so we're just performing our function and having a great time at it. And you could be having a great time with us. So consider it. Again, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope you got something from it. Again, large hitboxes, flashing lights. If you have the ability to take advantage of these things in your build, with a weapon, with sorceries, whatever, they will help you. You can combine them into different interesting combinations and use them to win. And most importantly, to have